I'd always thought of Grandma Aurora as an open book, her life a testament to love, laughter, and the warmth that filled every room she entered. Her blue eyes sparkled like a summer sky on a cloudless day, and her hugs had a way of healing any pain, making you feel seen and loved in a way that was both simple and profound. But it was on the day she left us, when I was rummaging through her belongings, trying to make sense of the void she'd left behind, that I stumbled upon something that would shatter my perception of her forever. As I searched through the old wooden box in her attic, tucked away in a corner like a secret keeper, my fingers brushed against something unexpected. A worn leather-bound diary, its cover creased and faded, pages yellowed with age. It felt heavy in my hands, as if it held secrets that were waiting to be unearthed. I ran my fingers over the embossed lock on the cover, wondering why it was locked, and why it was hidden away in such an obscure place. The moment I opened the diary, a wave of nostalgia washed over me. The handwriting on the first page was unmistakably Aurora's, but there was something about the way she wrote that I'd never seen before. A depth, a vulnerability, a sense of longing that I'd never known her to express. As I began to read, I felt like I was stepping into a world that was both familiar and foreign, a world where the woman I thought I knew was revealed to be a stranger, a woman with secrets and stories that I could hardly imagine. The pages turned, and with each word I felt my world shifting. It was as if I'd been living in a house of cards, and suddenly the foundations were crumbling. I realized that I didn't know Aurora at all, not really. The woman who'd been my rock, my confidant, my guiding light, had been living a life that was far more complex, far more mysterious, than I'd ever suspected. As I sit here holding this diary, I'm compelled to share with you the story that unfolds within its pages. A story of love, of sacrifice, of hidden legacies and forbidden passions that span generations. It's a story that will take you on a journey through the turmoil of history, through the quiet moments of courage and the loud declarations of love. It's a story that will challenge everything you think you know about family, about legacy, and about the enduring power of love. Over the next few hours, I'll take you on this journey with me, as we unravel the secrets of Grandma Aurora's hidden diary. It's a story that will leave you breathless, that will make you question the very fabric of your own family's history. But for now, let's just sit here in the silence of this moment, and let the weight of this discovery settle in. The story of Grandma Aurora's life is about to unfold, and I invite you to join me on this journey into the heart of her extraordinary story. In the late 1930s, nestled in the heart of America, lay the small rural town of Willow Creek, a place where time seemed to stand still, where the air was sweet with the scent of blooming wildflowers, and the sky was a brilliant blue that seemed to stretch on forever. It was a community where everyone knew each other's names, where children played in the dirt roads, and where the most exciting event of the year was the annual Harvest Festival. In this idyllic setting, a young Aurora grew up, her spirit as free as the birds that sang in the morning. She lived with her family in a modest farmhouse, surrounded by rolling hills and fields of golden wheat that her parents tilled with love and care. Her father, a man of strong hands and a gentle heart, rose with the sun to tend to their land, while her mother, with a smile as warm as the summer sun, kept their home filled with laughter and the scent of fresh-baked bread. Aurora was a dreamer, with a heart full of wonder and a mind full of questions. She loved nothing more than to lose herself in the pages of a good book, imagining worlds beyond the fields and forests of Willow Creek. Her brother Thomas shared her sense of adventure, his eyes always gazing up at the sky, dreaming of the day he could soar through it in an airplane. Meanwhile, her little sister Lily saw poetry in everything, the way the sunlight danced through the leaves, the songs of the birds, and even the patterns of the stars at night. The family's days were dictated by the rhythm of nature. Early mornings in the fields, school in the afternoons, and evenings spent under the starry sky, sharing stories and dreams. Despite the simplicity of their lives, there was a deep contentment, a sense of peace that came from living close to the earth and to each other. Yet, amidst this serene backdrop, Aurora felt an undercurrent of restlessness, a sense that there was more to life than the familiar routines of Willow Creek. She couldn't quite articulate it, but she felt a yearning for something beyond the horizon, something that called to her in the whispers of the wind and the pages of her beloved books. This quiet discontent, this subtle stirring of her soul, would one day set her on a path that would change not just her life, but the lives of those she loved, in ways she could hardly imagine. As she walked through the fields, feeling the earth beneath her feet and the sun on her face, Aurora couldn't help but wonder what lay beyond the boundaries of her small, peaceful world. Little did she know the world was on the cusp of change, and her own life was about to become a testament to the enduring power of love, sacrifice, and the hidden legacies that shape us. As the summer of 1939 waned, the tranquility of Willow Creek began to fray at the edges. News of the war in Europe, once a distant murmur, grew louder, seeping into the daily lives of its residents like the slow creep of dawn. Thomas, ever the adventurer, listened with rapt attention as the radio crackled with reports of troop movements and political tensions. His eyes shone with excitement, already envisioning himself in the thick of it, defending the nation. His parents, however, exchanged worried glances, their faces etched with concern. The war seemed a world away, yet it felt increasingly close, like the shadow of a storm cloud on a summer's day. Aurora, too, began to sense the unease, her romantic dreams of a carefree life slowly giving way to a dawning realization of the world's fragility. She'd watch her parents, their faces lit only by the soft glow of the radio, and wonder if the peace they'd always known was about to shatter. It was on one such evening, as the wind rustled the leaves and the family huddled around the radio, that the news came: Germany had invaded Poland. The room fell silent, the only sound the soft hum of the radio and the distant rumble of thunder. Aurora felt a shiver run down her spine as her father's eyes met hers, a mixture of worry and determination there. The days that followed were a blur of anxious conversations and nervous glances. The once peaceful streets of Willow Creek now seemed to vibrate with tension. It was into this charged atmosphere that Elias arrived, a stranger in a military uniform, his eyes locking onto Aurora's with an intensity that left her breathless. There was something about him that seemed different, an aura of quiet confidence and a hint of secrets kept. As they spoke, Aurora couldn't help but feel drawn to Elias, sensing in him a kindred spirit, someone who understood the weight of the world's uncertainty. But there was also something guarded in his eyes, a sense of a story untold, a mission unspoken. And yet, despite the danger that seemed to emanate from him, despite the uncertainty that shrouded his presence, Aurora felt an inexplicable pull, as if their meeting was not mere chance. Little did she know Elias's arrival marked the beginning of a perilous dance, one that would entwine their lives in a web of love, secrecy and danger, set against the backdrop of a world descending into chaos. As they parted ways that first day, the air seemed to vibrate with possibility, and the unspoken understanding that nothing would ever be the same again. As the days turned into weeks, Aurora and Elias's secret meetings became more frequent, always under the guise of stolen moments in the dead of night or hidden away in the old barn. Their love blossomed like a sunflower towards the sun, strong and resilient. In each other's arms they found solace from the war's dark shadow, a hope that seemed almost foolish given the danger that loomed over them. Elias's eyes, once haunted by the ghosts of his past, now sparkled with a renewed sense of purpose when he looked at Aurora. She was his beacon, his guiding star in the turmoil. And Aurora, with her laughter and her kindness, wrapped Elias in a warmth he had never known before. Their love was a flame that burned brightly, a defiance against the darkness that sought to consume everything. But Elias knew he couldn't keep his true identity hidden forever. One evening, as they sat together on the edge of the sunflower field, watching the stars twinkle to life, Elias took Aurora's hand and began to tell her the truth. He was a German scientist, a deserter from a project he could no longer believe in. His mission in Willow Creek was not just a coincidence. He was searching for a powerful encryption device, an artifact that could change the course of the war. Aurora listened, her heart pounding in her chest, as Elias revealed the purpose of his presence in their quiet town. The artifact, he explained, was hidden in a secret, ancient labyrinth beneath the old church, a labyrinth left by his mentor, a clockmaker who had been more than just a teacher to him. As Elias spoke, Aurora felt the world around her shift. The peaceful town she had always known was now a battleground, and she was caught in the middle. The Nazi agents, disguised as civilians, began to appear in Willow Creek, their eyes scanning the streets as if searching for something or someone. Aurora and Elias knew they had to act fast. Together, they ventured into the darkness beneath the church, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and decay. The labyrinth was a maze of ancient stones and forgotten history, but with Aurora's courage and Elias's determination, they navigated its twists and turns, their hearts pounding in unison. The diary, Aurora's sole confidant, filled with her fears, her love, and her growing determination, became her lifeline. She wrote of the nights spent with Elias, of the danger that lurked in every corner, and of the choice she had to make, to protect her love or her family's safety. As they drew closer to finding the artifact, the external threat escalated. The agents closed in, their presence a constant reminder of the danger that loomed over them. Aurora's transformation was complete. She was no longer just a passive observer, but an active participant in Elias's mission, her courage and resourcefulness tested at every turn. In the silence of the night, as they stood together, hand in hand, Aurora knew that their love was the beacon that would guide them through the storm. But she also knew that the storm was far from over, and their journey was just beginning. As they navigated the winding passages of the underground labyrinth, the air grew thick with anticipation. Aurora's heart pounded in her chest, her senses on high alert. Elias's eyes locked onto hers, his gaze burning with a mix of determination and fear. They had been searching for what felt like hours, and finally, they saw it, a hidden chamber, its entrance guarded by an ancient puzzle. The clockmaker's ingenuity was evident in the intricate mechanisms, designed to test the worthiness of those who sought to claim the artifact. With shaking hands, Aurora worked the puzzle, her mind racing with the possibilities. Elias stood beside her, his fingers brushing against hers as they collaborated to unlock the chamber. The sound of clicking gears and the soft creak of old wood filled the air, heightening the tension. As the final piece clicked into place, the chamber door creaked open, revealing a small ornate box nestled in a bed of velvet. But their triumph was short-lived. The sound of footsteps echoed through the passages, growing louder with each passing moment. Nazi agents, their faces twisted with malice, emerged from the shadows. Aurora and Elias exchanged a glance, their hearts sinking in unison. They knew they had to act fast. The ensuing battle was chaotic, the labyrinth's narrow passages becoming a deadly maze. Aurora's knowledge of the labyrinth proved invaluable as she led Elias through the twisting tunnels, dodging gunfire and leaping over obstacles. Elias fought with a desperation born of his own mortality, his eyes blazing with a fierce determination. But as the agents closed in, Elias found himself cornered, a bullet wound seeping into his shoulder. Aurora reached him, her face etched with panic. "No, Elias, no!" she cried, her voice lost in the din of battle. With a final glance at Aurora, Elias pushed her away, his eyes locked onto hers. "Take it, Aurora. Take the artifact. You must get out of here. Promise me." Aurora's world narrowed to the pain in Elias's eyes, the desperation in his voice. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. With a Herculean effort, Elias heaved himself to his feet, his gun firing wildly as he cleared a path for Aurora's escape. She took advantage of the reprieve, grabbing the artifact and making a frantic dash through the labyrinth. As she emerged into the cool night air, Aurora stumbled, her vision blurring. Elias's sacrifice replayed in her mind, his final words echoing through her thoughts. The artifact, now a symbol of their love and his ultimate sacrifice, weighed heavily in her hands. She felt the sting of grief, the ache of loss, but also a sense of purpose. Aurora knew that she had to carry on Elias's legacy, to see that the artifact did not fall into the wrong hands. The darkness closed in around her, but Aurora walked on, driven by a newfound resolve. The diary she had discovered would become a testament to their love, to the power of sacrifice and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. As she vanished into the night, the sound of her footsteps echoed through the stillness, a promise of a new beginning, a new mission. As I emerged from the labyrinth, the darkness seemed to swallow me whole. The rain-soaked night air clung to my skin like a damp shroud, and I couldn't shake the feeling of being utterly alone. My legs trembled beneath me as I stumbled back to our small cottage, the weight of the artifact heavy in my pocket. I felt shattered both physically and emotionally. The sound of my family's voices, warm and welcoming, only seemed to heighten my sense of isolation. In the days that followed, I struggled to maintain a facade of normalcy. My parents and siblings noticed my distant demeanor, but I couldn't bring myself to share the truth. Elias's death was reported as an accident, a tragic occurrence that shook our small community. I played my part, offering a mask of grief, but inside I was drowning in a sea of sorrow. The diary, now my sole confidant, became a sanctuary where I could express the unbearable loss, and the weight of the promise I now carried. As I pored over Elias's notes and the artifact, a nascent resolve began to solidify within me. I started to study the artifact, poring over Elias's writings, seeking to understand its purpose. The local library became my refuge, a place where I could lose myself in books and research. I spent hours poring over dusty tomes, searching for any mention of the artifact or its significance. My eyes would linger on the pages, but my mind would wander back to Elias, to the memories we'd shared, and the sacrifice he'd made. The silence was oppressive, a heavy blanket that suffocated me. I felt like I was walking through a fog, unsure of what lay ahead, but driven by a sense of purpose. My family tried to reach out to me, but I couldn't bridge the gap between us. They didn't understand and I couldn't explain. The burden of secrecy was crushing me, isolating me even from those I loved. In the quiet moments when the world outside receded, I'd find myself whispering promises to Elias, vowing to honor his memory and fulfill his mission. The artifact, now a tangible connection to him, seemed to pulse with a life of its own, a reminder of the responsibility I'd undertaken. As I sat by candlelight surrounded by the shadows, I'd feel a sense of determination rising within me. I would uncover the secrets of the artifact, and I would make sure that Elias's sacrifice wasn't in vain. As I reflect on Grandma Aurora's journey, I see a young woman transformed by the trials she faced. After leaving Willow Creek, she settled in a modest apartment in a bustling city, surrounded by the hum of strangers and the wail of sirens in the distance. The anonymity was a welcome respite from the prying eyes of her hometown, where everyone knew her story and the legend of Elias. Aurora threw herself into her research, poring over dusty tomes in libraries and archives, seeking any mention of the artifact or its creator. Elias's diary was her constant companion, guiding her through the labyrinth of codes and ciphers. She consulted experts discreetly, careful not to arouse suspicion, and spent countless hours poring over maps and documents, searching for any clue that might lead her closer to her goal. As she worked tirelessly to understand the artifact, Aurora began to grasp its true power. It was more than a simple encryption device. It was a key to deciphering enemy codes and predicting strategic movements. The weight of this realization settled upon her, and she knew that her mission had become even more critical. With each passing day, Aurora's skills grew. She learned to observe without being seen, to listen without being heard. She practiced counterintelligence, always aware of her surroundings, anticipating potential threats. I recall her telling me about the time she deciphered a coded message from a seemingly innocuous letter, leading her to a hidden cache of information. Or the evening she subtly evaded surveillance in a crowded train station, her heart racing as she disappeared into the crowd. Yet, amidst this transformation, Aurora's solitude was a heavy burden. The memories of Elias lingered, a bittersweet reminder of her loss. The danger that surrounded her, a constant threat, forced her to remain vigilant, always on the lookout for the telltale signs of pursuit. I remember her describing a tense encounter with a suspicious individual in a coffee shop, how she calmly gathered her belongings and slipped out into the rain, her senses on high alert. Despite the challenges, Aurora's determination only grew stronger. Elias's memory fueled her, and the importance of her mission drove her forward. She knew that she was not just fighting for her own survival, but for the fate of countless others, for the chance to turn the tide of the war. As she navigated this treacherous landscape, Aurora's emotional resilience was tested. There were moments of crushing loneliness, of doubt and fear. But she persevered, drawing strength from the love she shared with Elias, from the promise she made to him. And though the Nazi threat still loomed large, Aurora stood tall, a self-taught spy, driven by her conviction and her heart. In the silence of her apartment, surrounded by the trappings of her new life, Aurora would often pause, her eyes closed, and remember Elias's words. Together, we can change the course of history. And though he was no longer by her side, Aurora knew that she was still fighting for that dream, for the chance to honor his sacrifice and make a difference in a world torn apart by war. As the war finally drew to a close, Aurora felt a sense of relief wash over her, like the gentle lapping of waves on a serene shore. She had done it. She had played her part in the Allied victory, using the artifact to transmit crucial intelligence that had frustrated enemy plans and contributed to strategic victories. The memories of those long nights in the secret office, her fingers flying across the radio keys, sending messages that had changed the course of history, still lingered vividly in her mind. The quiet satisfaction of having fulfilled her mission was a balm to her soul. Aurora had given everything to the war effort, and in return she had received a sense of purpose and belonging. As the news of the war's end spread, she felt a sense of peace settle over her, like a soft blanket on a winter's night. With the war behind her, Aurora sought a new beginning. She returned to Willow Creek, the small town where her journey had first begun. The familiar streets and faces were a comfort, a reminder of the simple joys in life that she had almost forgotten in the chaos of war. She dedicated herself to community building, using her experiences to help others. She worked with local families affected by the war, sharing her knowledge of cryptography and counterintelligence to help them rebuild their lives. The artifact, once a burden, had become a cherished symbol of Elias and her past. She carefully stored it in a beautiful music box, its intricate patterns and soft melodies a reminder of the love and sacrifice that had defined her journey. The music box became a treasured possession, a connection to the man who had changed her life forever. As the years passed, Aurora evolved into the wise, loving grandmother the narrator knew. Her past was a part of her, but it no longer defined her present struggles. She had lived a life of extraordinary experiences and profound sacrifices, but she had emerged from the shadows, into the warm light of peace and serenity. The narrator, looking back, understood that Aurora's seemingly simple life had been built upon a foundation of courage, resilience, and love. The diary, once a secret keeper, had revealed the depth of her character, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. As the narrator sat with her grandmother, listening to her stories and laughter, she felt a sense of awe and gratitude for the woman who had shaped her life. In those quiet moments, surrounded by the gentle rhythms of her grandmother's life, the narrator realized that the true legacy of Aurora was not the artifact, nor the war effort, but the love, wisdom, and serenity she had shared with her family and community. The diary had been more than just a record of her past. It had been a bridge to the future, a reminder of the transformative power of love and sacrifice. As I sit here surrounded by the memories of a lifetime, I find myself reflecting on the diary my grandmother, Aurora, left behind. It's more than just a collection of pages filled with her thoughts and experiences. It's a map to her soul, a window into the depths of her heart. Reading her words, I feel like I'm getting to know her all over again. And yet, I'm also discovering pieces of myself that I never knew existed. The stories she shared with me as a child about fairies and heroes, about brave deeds and quiet moments of courage, I now realize were metaphors for her own extraordinary life. The laughter, the tears, the struggles, and the triumphs. It all makes sense now. Her life was a tapestry woven with threads of love, sacrifice, and resilience. And I see now that her true legacy isn't the artifact, the device, or the secret she kept. It's the silent strength she embodied, the wisdom she shared through her stories, and the unconditional love she showed to everyone around her. As I look back, I see the parallels between her life and mine. The struggles, the fears, the doubts, they've all been there, but so have the triumphs, the moments of joy, and the lessons learned. Her story has been a guide, a reminder that life is complex and beautiful, and that every moment, no matter how big or small, is a chance to choose courage, to choose love. Finding this diary has been a journey of emotional catharsis for me. It's allowed me to understand my grandmother on a deeper level, to see her not just as a figure of authority and love, but as a human being flawed and strong just like me. It's given me peace, a sense of understanding about life and courage that I didn't have before. The diary has become a personal treasure, a guide that I return to whenever I need to remember the power of love and sacrifice. And it's inspired me to share my own stories, to pass on the wisdom and the lessons I've learned. Aurora's example has shown me that our hidden stories, the ones we keep locked away, are the keys to understanding ourselves and each other. In the end, it's not about the secrets we keep or the legacies we leave behind. It's about the love we share, the wisdom we impart, and the courage we show. As I close this diary, I feel a sense of closure, a sense of profound understanding. I know that I'll carry Aurora's story with me, and that it will continue to inspire me to live a life of love, courage, and resilience. And I hope that, in sharing her story, I can inspire others to do the same, to discover their own hidden stories, to share them with the world, and to leave behind a legacy of love, wisdom, and strength. As we close the chapter on Grandma Aurora's remarkable journey, we're reminded that life is a tapestry woven with threads of love, sacrifice, and resilience. Her story, a testament to the human spirit, shows us that even in the darkest times, courage and determination can lead to extraordinary outcomes. The hidden diary, a symbol of her legacy, whispers secrets of a life lived with purpose and passion. If these tales of love, loss, and self-discovery have resonated with you, then I know that Grandma Aurora's story has fulfilled its purpose. It's a reminder that our experiences, though unique, are interconnected, and that the stories we share can inspire and uplift one another. As we say goodbye to Grandma Aurora, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on the power of her story. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. What secret do you think Grandma Aurora held dearest to her heart? Your insights will help keep her memory alive and may inspire others to explore their own hidden legacies. Before you go, I'd be grateful if you could hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stories that warm the heart and inspire the soul. Share this journey with friends and family who might find solace and motivation in Grandma Aurora's tale. As the music fades and the curtains close, I hope you'll carry the essence of Grandma Aurora's story with you, letting its lessons guide you through life's joys and challenges. Until next time, may love, wisdom, and courage be your companions on your own path of self-discovery.